meeting to order. We may have a couple folks coming in late due to the late spring. That's what we'll just call that out there. Welcome to our monthly annual department head meeting, and we are here to just share the adventures and joys of what's going on in the county and our departments. And it sometimes helps to know what each other's doing, because we find opportunities to support each other, and that's good for the taxpayers. So I'm just gonna start us off this morning right over here with the smiling sheriff, and we'll work our way around the room and just take a minute or two and tell us what's going on in your department, and especially if you have needs or things that the rest of us might have ideas for, like spare people that want jobs,
Yeah.
anything like that. So Sheriff, take it away.
All right, well, for the first time in a long time, we're mostly at full staff.
Yeah.
So our patrol schedule's looking really good. We have plenty of people on, which is different and nice. So each guy and gal isn't completely getting bombarded with calls all day long. There's a little downtime for them to actively, pursue crime or actually finish their reports, because if they're accumulating multiple reports in a day, it's just really, you reserved, it's hard to keep up when you keep getting called away. So that's going on. We've had some pretty serious crimes being reported. We took a really bad elderly abuse case 2 days ago. The victim ended up passing away. So that's gonna require a pretty extensive investigation, and we're working on search warrants and things of this nature now to take care of that. We had another pursuit yesterday that ended pretty quickly, but that's 2 in 2 weeks or something. It's getting more and more. We just had we're meeting, every division in our office is meeting monthly for an update and the training. So we've been working on that. Aside from that, we're just shagging calls, dealing with the snow, and trying to get all of the grant purchasing and things ready and able to get them installed and things like that. Aside from that, it's just been a lot of meetings and a lot of paperwork.
So with all the pursuits and things, just a personal question, interest, are these local or out of area?
Out of area, every one of them. We had another pursuit on Saturday that was coming from 4th of July pass our way, but the vehicle crashed right before they made it to our county. So it's just, and those folks weren't Idahoans. But yeah, no, not locals.
Traveling the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Drug related or?
I don't know. I would assume so, but.
How's the Guardian deal, setting up that?
It's going along. So they have it in phases. So there's, I think, maybe 3 phases of the installation, and I think we're at phase 2, which is now they're working with Computer Arts, our RMS system, to kind of connect it in that techie way.
Okay.
And it's coming along. It's going to be a little process, but.
Okay. Or are you actually using it on the phones now, or is it?
No, we're not there yet.
Not there yet.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
still trying to figure out the inner workings and how it's going to connect to different
Okay.
programs that we use and things of that nature.
Now you were gonna get a new camera system too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has that started or?
It has. We've actually talked to a few vendors. One of them is it's a great system, but it's out of our price range. But we wanted to see what they could do anyway, so they gave a demonstration. But where he's at on it exactly, I'm not sure. I still think we're trying to get this camera system price down. The one that we really want. I mean, it's really high tech. I just love it. And they sent us some cameras to try out, so we have them kind of hooked up in different, like we have one in the lobby right now that kind of shows the entryway and driver's license.
Okay.
And we're testing another one out in the jail, so we're just it's probably gonna be a long process too, but. we're
Now, are
just
they
looking at
wireless
options.
or do you have to wire hardwire?
I think we're gonna have to hardwire them in.
Hardwire, okay.
Yeah. But I think all the setup is already there for that, and whether or
Okay.
not they have to redo all of that, I don't think. But
Okay.
it's already set up, so it should be pretty
Yeah.
simple. Once we find a vendor we can actually afford.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty expensive. I was pretty
Yeah.
surprised at how expensive surveillance systems are. But yeah, it'll be a good one.
Okay.
this particular one we're looking at, it actually will read license plates, so like if we put one out on the exterior of the building to show the entry of the sheriff's office, and let's say you have a crime that's committed somewhere and you're looking for a specific vehicle, you can kind of type in whatever you're looking for, and it'll alert you to that license plate if it drives by. I mean, it's pretty high tech,
really?
it's really nice.
Oh, wow.
Kinda like the ones that you had in Coeur d'Alene on the stop, on some of the
Yep.
overpasses, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it has facial recognition on it as well, so if you
Wow.
had, you know, if somebody came in the lobby that's not supposed to be there for whatever reason, you know, maybe somebody who has I mean, this is like super future, but you could do, somebody who maybe has warrants or something that you're looking for, you could put it in there, and if they came into our building, it would alert us. I mean, it's pretty neat, you know.
Yeah, that is neat.
It's gonna make it hard for you and I to sneak in the building.
Yeah.
Have you guys how are you guys gonna do the plumbing issues?
Oh, you know what, I'm sure Studsky is taking care of that, and yeah, he's been working on that, and I have no idea how that's gonna unfold, but we're starting to get all the supplies in, so that's being
Okay.
shipped to us, and we have a bunch of plumbing stuff in the basement. I think he's just working with,
We're gonna have certified plumbers, or what's he gonna, okay.
oh yeah. Yep, we're gonna do it right.
Anybody with questions for the sheriff? Well, I'm trying to run this a little more round table style then. Okay, if you think of something, come back to her. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Public Works.
It's snowing outside.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. It's all hands on deck right now, just trying to manage how much snow we got, and, so I talked a little bit with Dave this morning, and I let him know that, middle of next month, I mean, it's hard to believe that it's the end of February right now, so in 2 weeks, we could be down 2 additional employees in the Smelterville district, due to one of the temps is leaving early to take care of some issues, and, one of our regular employees is going to have some surgery. And so, that's gonna leave us severely understaffed, because we're already understaffed by 2. This is gonna leave us understaffed by 4, all in the same district. And my hope is that winter will ebb a little bit, and it'll be more manageable, it'll warm up and kind of melt the snow off, but, you know, we don't know what we're gonna get this year, so I'm trying to kind of forward think and you know, see what adjustments we can make to kind of plan ahead. What might have to happen if we get some serious snow is we would have to just put out a press release to try to notify the public that we're gonna have limited services. You know, always it's gonna follow the same path, main arterials, school bus routes, emergency routes, but some of the side streets and neighborhoods might not get as much attention,
Yeah,
because this
priorities.
is really gonna be a serious situation for us.
So the employees that you're down now, to hire new ones, they have to be CDL certified, is that right?
So it's interesting, because we've thought about trying to bring somebody on. The snow season is so minimal that getting somebody out there to be trained that hasn't done it before, or even done it for us in that district, with all the hazards on the roadway, you know, not having a chance to even get out and run a route with, you know, one of the supervisors or somebody that can train them. We're not sure that that's gonna be any more helpful. I have a couple ideas, that I talked to Dave about, maybe just reaching out to some of the other, retired employees that still have current CDLs, or some of the temps that maybe made a choice to not come back this year, to see if they'd be willing to come back for a very short-term basis, even on call. So, I'm gonna start this week kind of putting some feelers out and seeing, because to actually go through a proper hiring process, I don't know that that's really gonna help us at this point, because then they, you know, new employees coming into the county, they've gotta be drug tested, we've gotta, you know, go through that process, and there's some different things with paperwork, whereas if it's a returning temp, the process is more streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
So, just trying to look at all options at this point. In the Osborne district, we're gonna be looking a little bit better. We did make a decision, we had an open position for one of our regular full-time employees, and we got a pretty decent pool of applicants. Dave and I had also discussed, you know, would one of them be interested in coming on as a temp fill-in, but the applicants already have pretty good jobs, pretty good full-time jobs. They were just looking for, maybe better money at the county or better benefits at the county. So I don't think they would be interested in leaving their full-time benefited position to come on to temp for us for a short time. But we did extend an offer, to fill one position just yesterday, and so our plan is to have him start, getting trained tomorrow in Osborne, so that'll kind of fill some of the holes, and
That's
maybe we
good.
can shuffle some people around. So that's pretty good. Breakdowns, I don't wanna talk about it out loud. We've been okay for the last week or so. We're kind of recovering from some of that. But we are utilizing every pickup right now that's outfitted with a plow. We have no extras. So at this point, I'm not sure, we don't even have one right now for the new hire that's coming on in Osborne. So, maybe we can take one of Smelterville's trucks
Yeah.
if they're down in place. I mean, we'll just have to look at shuffling. We have 2 pickups outfitted with plows that have been on order, but since COVID, the unavailability of chips and the delays and things getting stuck in customs and the whole shebang, we're still waiting. We were hoping to see the 2 new pickups be delivered and available for pickup the 20th of this month. That date is come and gone, and so we're just patiently waiting to pick those up. And that'll be great, cause those are going to Osborne. Each year we rotate 2 pickups in Smelterville, Murray, Osborne, and Marble Creek. So right now we've just had excessive breakdowns, and a lot of them are like transmission jobs that are huge. It's not small, simple repairs, so we really need to make a thoughtful decision. Do we wanna take a large percentage of our repair budget to put into this, this equipment, at this time? So that's kind of where we're at now. But other than that, we're rolling along, and I just can't wait for spring, and we can shift gears and get into some other types of projects and things like that. So we're also working on, trying to get things organized so we can spend our money that we were awarded through the, LATC hub. And, a lot of that kind of hinged on the meeting that we had last week to see if you guys would approve Sourcewell. And so, you guys did, and so then that's going to direct me on how I can go, through my procurement, because most of my purchases are very large, so.
Okay.
Other than that, things are rolling along good, and, just gearing up for spring projects.
How do you think that now that the CDL, process has changed and people have to go to the school?
It's much more difficult. So we'd actually talked about and we would like to implement down the line, an in-house training process. We would have to get, 1 or more of our employees, kind of through a program and signed up to where they can be an in-house trainer.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we could hire somebody on maybe a temporary basis, to allow them so long to get their CDL, and then from there, then they would, change status into the, the full, grade benefited employee. So, the school district in Kellogg has an in-house training program because they were having a hard time getting, bus drivers with that, particular CDL, and, that seems to work very well for them. So I'd started some talks, with Corey North, who's the superintendent of their, transportation department over there, and, would like to get with him when things slow down a little bit to see how they started that in-house and
That's
how it
good.
works.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't know you could do that. That'll
Yeah,
be-
that would be awesome.
so that'll help solve some of the problems too. The nice thing is the applications that we got for this full-time position, this is the first time, I think, since I've been in the department, that all applicants had a Class A CDL. So that tells me we're getting in a better direction with our compensation, and, I think the matrix and the training kinda help with that. Before we would get, employees with maybe a lesser CDL or no CDL at all. And so, to me, that was really encouraging.
I noticed that with
To see that.
our department as well, because we're getting, certified officers applying, whereas before we never really.
Yeah, you never got any certified, yeah,
So it's helpful.
yeah, that's great.
Are they local or are they out of state?
For us, it's local. I
Okay.
think for you guys, it's out of the
Yeah, all
area
over the
usually,
country.
but for
All over.
us, it's primarily local. Because a lot of them don't wanna commute, and especially, you know, that's something that we kinda look at and talk about. We do need, some sort of a timely response time. I mean, we don't make, years ago, there used to be a rule that, you know, we're split into 4 road districts, and you had to live in the road district which you worked in. And then, as things changed and the economy changed, our rules had to change, and so now, you know, you can kinda live wherever, but we do look at response time. I mean, we wouldn't want somebody to have to, you know, we're calling in for all hands on deck and it takes you an hour and a half to get here to respond, so, but so far, you know, the hiring issue has been pretty good for us for the full-time this last round anyways. Temps, that's another story, that's a hard sell. It's a hard sell, they make roughly $3 an hour less than our full-time benefited, so that's something that, you know, different discussion, different time, but, you know, I think I'd like to kind of bring up to the board and maybe do a little workshop about that. I think that might change, because what we're seeing the last several years is a decrease in the applicants for the temporary positions. And, the number one thing I hear back as far as feedback and reasoning for that is, the wage and kind of what's happened with the economy in the last couple of years.
Okay. Any questions or thoughts? Okay. Colleen, what's happening in the wonderful world of grants?
Oh, more spreadsheets than I wanna deal with, even though I love spreadsheets, there's a bunch of them out there right now. So, just getting everything, you know, dotted, crossed, organized, ready to go for, Tammy to go through and do audits and take a look at everything. Got a couple new projects working on, but, really in the very preliminary stage, so we'll see how those go. And, you know, really nothing more than just, the bus. So the new bus is now in the valley. It got here Friday night. It's, they're getting it ready to go. So we now have 3 functioning buses that can do the routes. Yeah, that's about it. And mostly it's just spreadsheets.
The buses are a big thing to some people.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
There's some people that count on that, so.
Used a lot more than I realized, yeah.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, they're every quarter, the reports that we do, and I have to add them all together, but just regular ridership, there's over 5,000 people a quarter that ride those. There's thousands a month that ride them, and then the paratransit, being able to go out and transport, and the on-demand, and getting people over to Coeur d'Alene to what they do. It's an incredible asset, and we're one of the few that doesn't charge fares. So, you know, having the county support this and having ITD support this it's a huge asset for the community. Because of they're able to go, they have the fixed route, but then they also have the route where they can go off and they can pick you up within a certain radius if you're in for wheelchairs and to go to your homes. And then they have the couple of routes that go over to Coeur d'Alene that they do doctor's appointments and things over there, so it's.
Sometime when the weather's better, so July, August. It would be interesting to go ride the bus.
I think that'd be a good
We
idea.
should go
Put
out
the commissioners on the bus.
with our staff.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be it, just so we could experience what it
Yeah,
is. That
I think that's a good idea.
Might show some support for the program and get our film crew to come along and put it on the world of social media that this is available.
Pack your lunch and be a long day.
People need
It's
some
only
good
figure
news now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been running when I was in tourism, that was a big thing with our visitors too, is that it has bikes, they have bike racks on them, so it's a free bus that they can take from Mullen to Kingston, and so they can take their bike. My recommended route was always go to Mullen and then you're downhill all the way in, so you can ride it into Kellogg.
Good
But
idea.
you can also take it out to Kingston if you're doing that out and back, and you can do the other half of the trail, and so it's huge for tourism, it's absolutely imperative for our residents. It's just a big draw. It's a good asset to continue. On the wages thing, boy, coming from economic development, that is nearly impossible. I'm sure you see anytime a job is posted, what, I can go to work with Jack in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Box?
Yep.
Okay, so Jack in the Box does not have per se or
Mhm.
benefits of any
Yep.
kind, and you're Idaho's an at-will, so
Yep.
it's really hard to get
It's difficult.
that penciled out in people's brains that, $15 an hour fully benefited is incredible.
Yeah.
Better than a Jack in the Box $17.
Exactly.
So I got a little social media attention when we forwarded the advertisements for the jobs, folks that obviously didn't apply. Good job.
Yeah,
We
I
had the
just
same thing
don't
happen
even
to
read the
us
comments
when we,
on that.
advertised the jail cook position.
Mhm.
It got beat up pretty hard on social media.
A couple I've posted have gotten the same response.
The medical and the dental benefits alone is,
Well, they
It's
don't,
really
they
great.
don't realize that because
The
when you,
retirement
when you
pieces.
break it down, and I have to do this for some of my grant reconciliation or some of my funding for FEMA, I have to break it down into what that equates to an hour. And for some of our employees who have the family coverage, it's an additional, it's over $15 an hour
Yeah.
added to the wage. That's what's paid on
Their
behalf of the
behalf.
county.
Yeah.
And so people don't see that. I always refer to it as, your compensation on the front side and your compensation on the back side. And they just see what's happening on the front side. I wish that all employees could really see what happens on the back side because it's huge. So instead of making $20 an hour, you're really making $35 an hour. And so we try to, if we get a chance to talk to people about that and really break it down, how much are the benefits actually worth to you? It's huge. So, some people understand that, some people don't. I've had a lot of people say, well, you can't eat your benefits or you can't heat your house with your benefits. And I do
Different
understand,
priorities in their lives.
your, what you need for, to live on, but, there is so much value in what's paid on the backside too.
Exactly.
Any other questions for Coley? Comments? Okay. How's fire danger?
So hot.
Go out with snow shovels, fight fire.
Yeah.
With mitigation, I finally got all the paperwork from the state. I just completed all the reimbursements for the county. Usually, sometime when they're going through when the state of Idaho is going through the reimbursements, they, for some reason, they don't always agree with what I have on paper, so we have to have that talk, and so they'll understand. Other than that, I'm just waiting for the next round of grants to come out, which is the Community Wildfire Defense Grants. They're supposed to be coming out this month. And I'm gonna start, once they come out and I'm able to, I'll go through them and see which ones I think maybe we should go after, or some we don't wanna go after. Just because of the cost to the county for those grants. We get a nice grant, but then we end up paying 75% of it back to you.
Oh, yeah, match grants.
Yeah.
Match in time.
Good idea.
So, once they come out and I kinda get them, read through them and stuff, if I need to talk to you, I'll set up a meeting and we'll talk. I did have one contractor start back to work. He got to work about 2 days, and then this started in the freezing weather and all that, so.
Was that up in Kellogg?
Yeah.
Cause I heard chainsaws one day, what's my husband doing now? And then it dawned on me, we had that talk, and it's like, oh yeah, you'd be right on the hill above me.
Yeah, they got to work, I think, 2 or 3 days, and they were shut down again.
Delayed spring, yeah.
Now, do you have jobs lined up throughout the summer, or you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I have about 30 different projects on my board right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you brought those to us before these two were in, right?
Yeah.
When we were discussing those, so, yeah.
Okay. So you got one going, and And we're getting caught up on the paperwork part of it as far as Tammy's office is concerned and good, so, thank you.
There's one little snafu that we're taking care of.
If only one, you're in the A portion of the class this week then. Okay. All right, any questions or comments for fire mitigation? I have to say you're doing an excellent job. There has not been any fire issue whatsoever in the last several months.
I'd like to take credit for it, but.
Now you can turn off this, so. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
I do not, thank you.
Okay, you don't wanna, compliment my counter jumping skills this morning?
Oh, yes. We did have some entertainment downstairs this
We
morning.
found out if they lock the door in Public Works, it's still not that hard to get in. Kind of tuck and roll.
Well, we told Dave that
It was
Lance-
too
Lance
late
was
to
the only
get
one
the
that had
camera
attempted
out.
the
He was
counter
already
camera.
over.
Oh.
And
It's
he
your turn.
had forgotten that
It's my
he
turn?
had
Well,
his
say
gun
with
belts
your
on.
Really nothing.
And so
That's
Lance's
great.
gun got caught down
It's
on him, but he
snow.
pulled off, he stuck the landing.
Why
are you guys
Somebody
letting
might
him do that?
do until it's
Yeah.
snowed.
Yeah.
That's like the jump that I would have.
I regretted it when I landed.
I bet
Yeah.
you did.
Exactly.
Jeff, what would you like to bring up today?
Not much, just the snow, that's about it.
Can you make it go away?
No, I'm
That's
trying.
By resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I
but
do,
I'd like to, set up a meeting with you and kinda go over, your projects and stuff, kinda learn about that process more, so.
Good point.
Sounds interesting.
Had an email yesterday morning from a concerned citizen, Big Creek,
Yep, Elk Creek.
Elk Creek, sorry,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
And referred it right to Jessica, and it was handled awesome, and she was very happy.
Oh,
With
thank
the
you.
reply.
Good.
Quick response.
Yes, yep, that's what I'm really gonna try to do is, respond quickly. Even if I don't have the right answer, or if I don't have an answer, I think even a response, just acknowledging that, I feel like that's pretty important.
Yeah, she was
at
happy
this
that
point,
we both
so.
acknowledged and got
Yeah.
right back to her,
Yep.
so. Even if, most cases, if you could do that with our people, then they're happy they were acknowledged and heard.
Yes, yep, I agree with that.
Anything else you'd like to, because I am not taking,
Oh,
Yeah.
right, you wanna
I'm
take
not gonna
the
say
spotlight.
anything and then say, oh, Dave took what I was gonna say.
I think that's it for today.
Okay.
Oh, can I bring something up
Oh,
quickly?
yeah, we're at a
I
round table.
forgot to mention, that I was hoping that Max would be here, but he's out taking care of the snow. I started in 2019 in the basement. We've not had heat in our office. It's never blown warm air through the vent, ever. When Keith was the maintenance person, he tried to fix it, and it never happened. And so I just quit mentioning it because I thought it wasn't fixable, and maybe the vent was just there for looks and it didn't work. And so we've just always been cold with our space heaters, and so Max was asking about something else, and the conversation came up about the heat and how cold it was down there, especially when it got down to 0. And he did some troubleshooting, and it was a faulty thermostat, and he changed the thermostat, and we now have warm air that blows into our office in the
Right.
basement
Wow.
after
That's a
4 years.
success.
And so today was a little
Awesome.
snafu because I think there was an issue with the pilot light going out.
Yeah,
But
turn
he
that
fixed
back
that
on.
and then it was back on, but I just wanted to thank him for that. So, and I just really appreciate any follow up, and it's nice to have some heat in the basement. It's never warm in the basement, but if it's above 50, I'm happy, so.
Yeah, if you don't see your breath,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
a good day.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it was 0, it was like 50 degrees at our desk.
Yeah,
And
same-
we got
same
it
with
up
our
to
office.
58.
Mhm.
Are you guys
And that was a
eating anywhere
win.
on your heat?
I think the issue is that they can't fix the heat until we do the new cooling system, so we're just kind of wearing thick coats and hats and making it work until, as long as the jail's warm, which it is, cause it's a separate system, then we're okay, cause everybody else can just double up on coats and stuff. It's just when your hands get cold, it's like you're trying to hide, but it'll get better.
Good.
Try to go patrol some hand
Yeah.
warmers.
Yep.
Where it's warm.
Yep.
Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Nope.
Okay, all right. I guess all I wanna say is, that I appreciate everybody's efforts. We just never have enough manpower, we never have enough money, we never have enough, anything except attitude, and I appreciate the good attitudes about, I mean, we get enough of the other attitudes too. But I appreciate the good attitudes about, just buckle down and do what we can with what we have and keep serving people. And of course, the joys of social media, you hear from the folks who may not fully understand all the challenges. They want it, they want their property taxes back because the road's not plowed. Whether or not property tax money actually doesn't go to plowing roads, but
And that's a real complaint, by the way.
that was a
Yes,
real,
a real one.
that was a real one this
It was a
week.
real
that
request.
Jessica and I got.
They have all this effort to do that, why don't they actually apply and help us out?
I would love that. I would love that.
I just appreciate the challenges and these public meetings are taped and put out there that public should know, when we have county openings, apply for them. We are doing the best we can with the funds and the people we have, but that's one thing that, when you're running for office, it's very easy to critique the county, and now that you're in office, it's very easy to defend the county when you start to see that everything that doesn't get done isn't because somebody's failing at their job. It may be that we're just doing the best we can with what we have, or we're looking for new ways to do more. And Jessica brought some stuff to me today that we'll get with the board and talk about, that may be some more little tiny opportunities to put a few dollars in the budget here and there. And I just appreciate everybody moving towards the goal. We'll never hit it, because the goal keeps moving.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you've got more and more crime coming from outside. I think we should make that against the law. If you're not from here, you cannot break our rules.
I agree.
Okay? And while we're at it, I would like a resolution on the weather. My wife has claimed special dispensation. She wants it to be against the law to snow in March. She's done.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Yep.
So, anyway, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate your time. We're gonna go ahead and bring this meeting to a close and adjourn and get ready for our next meeting here in 20 minutes or so. So I'll have a few minutes if you wanna catch up on.
That would be great.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you.
You just want me to